Okay. Hey guys, it's Sarah's Night again, and this is Let's Play Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. We're kind of between the 3rd and 4th dungeons right now, searching for the key to the 4th dungeon in the desert that's nearby this village. But first, this is pretty much the only other community, settlement, whatever you want to call it, on the island, aside from the human village to the west where Marin and Terran live. And this is full of animal people, actually. Let's see, we got like these bunny people right here. So this one's telling me that lazy walrus is in the way. Okay, right as he started talking about that, I remembered there's like just this walrus that's just sitting in your way, and he's not gonna move. I mean, he's not an enemy or anything, so you don't like fight him. And it'd be rude to just, you know, even if it's for an important cause, just to kill a walrus just to get him out of my way. So hopefully we can find a hint, because I actually don't remember offhand what to do in order to move him out of the way. Actually, that's not totally true. I wonder how Marin is feeling. Oh, okay, so I guess that is the... I don't think I ever caught on to that, or at least I don't recall, that the village of more human people is actually called Mabe. So I no longer have to call it the village where Marin and Terran live, or the village of humans. Oh, okay. I was hoping this guy might be the one I give the honeycomb to. And he trades me a pineapple for it. That tub of goo is asleep in the way right now, and he won't budge for a long time. Take little Marin and wake him up with her song. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, before that rabbit person mentioned the name of the human village as Mabe. It just came to me suddenly. You actually need a Marin song. It's the first song you learn on the ocarina, and it, I don't know, lulls the walrus, and it wakes him up, and then lulls him into enough complacency to where he just decides, oh, okay, I guess I'll just fall over out of the way back into the water, and you can do your thing now. Yeah, I don't think any community in this whole entire island is large enough to be called a city. Okay, well, we already did the Dream Shrine, so that information is... Actually, I think this person right here, this female dog person... Yeah, I think she actually likes, she likes writing letters too, so... I had this vague memory that at some point she either writes the other guy, who just calls himself Wright, who lives near the mysterious forest. We met him before. She's like, bring me flowers and I'll talk to you. Wow. I've forgotten this woman is kind of a bitch. Both literally and figuratively, as we see now. Okay, so I guess I'd trade that pineapple in for something, and maybe a bouquet of flowers or something to bring to her. And she's like, well, you better just bring flowers before addressing a lady. Lady, I was just, you know... I wasn't asking you out or anything. Okay. What's this? I see a... It's like a well here. It's like you can jump into it, but I guess maybe not, since there's... I'm sorry, did I actually go in here? Well, just in case there's something important. I know there's nobody in here. Sometimes dwellings are just totally empty. But... okay, nothing important. Actually, is this shallow or is that deep? Okay, good, it's shallow. And that is a warp point, so we can use that to very conveniently travel back to Akuku Prairie. And that's like the entrance of it, so the May Village is just around the corner from there. But just in case, I have to actually acknowledge the walrus first in order to get the event going, you know, to get Marin to come with me to sing to him. Let's go talk to him. It even gives you a little icon like he's dreaming of Marin, apparently. You know, I figured as of late with all the monsters around the island, Marin probably hasn't been around here in a long time, but everybody acts like they know her in this village, so... And right quick, let's see what we got in this cave before heading back. Yep, I don't think that's happening. So let's never mind that for now. It doesn't matter, I don't need to defeat that guy. I was trying to get to him at an angle where he'd actually be pushed sort of more below and into that bottomless pit, but no. Alright, so let's get the Pegasus boots going, make this just a little bit faster. Getting back to the warp point. Woohoo! Okay, so we'll just... I guess Marin is... No, she's no longer here. Actually... Yeah, I remember that's what gets the beach scene going. I was thinking, doesn't that happen between the 3rd and 4th dungeons? And that's where we find Marin. Well, I asked you and you actually told, so really no need to sell yourself short that you... And let's dash our way down. Yeah, there's just a section of the beach we did not quite get to down here, where Marin is kind of, I don't know, segregated from the rest of the monsters. She's not like in any danger or anything. It's like in this little cape, for lack of a better term. Actually, just in case, did we miss anything in here? No. Okay. Yeah, I think it's right below here. There she is. And we have kind of a cutscene here where we actually kind of change the view of the camera. And it's one of very few times in the game when you do, so it's a little bit interesting. Well, I'm not going to be an asshole and say no. Mainly because, well, she's actually acted like a lady rather than that dog person in the animal village. Like, before you even begin to talk to me, you need to bring me flowers. Cha. But here, Marin actually politely asked me to come and, you know, keep her company for a while. I gotta say, though, she kind of talks about dumb crap, really. No offense, Marin. And she was like, where do coconut trees come from? Oh, and she saw a hero in me, apparently, when she found me unconscious at the beginning of the game on the drifted ashore. I did kind of like what she said there a minute ago, and I didn't catch on to that, where she was like, Terran says there's nothing beyond the sea. So that's another hint that the island is self-contained in a way, as in, it's not real. So in a way, there's really nothing beyond the sea, because these are, you know, this island is in my dreams. It is kind of sad, though. I mean, all these people aren't real. But I kind of can't help but feel that, you know, I'm talking to Marin like, right now, she has dreams, aspirations, you know, kind of like a real person. It's easy to become sympathetic with her, I guess. But then I just remembered she starts kind of berating you because it looks like you're not listening. And she says something vaguely, I guess hinting at vague romantic attraction there. I want to know more about you. Oh, yeah, that's not what I meant. So finally, I cut to the chase and ask her to come with me to get the walrus out of the way. Yeah, and I'm holding her up like she's an item. Is this your big chance? What, to score with Marin, or do you mean just to continue on with my adventure successfully? I don't know, I just wouldn't have said it like that. This is your big chance. Okay, but actually, it's probably just as fast as going all the way back to the warp point just to go the normal way I did before from here. Good news is, Marin actually cannot fall into the hole and take damage and die or anything. At least not that I remember. I wonder what she thinks about me stupidly hitting this monster, though, and shocking myself. Okay, idiot, I need to put my sword in the right hand. Let's be careful here. Those guys will take a run at you. I really do not like those flying Goombas, I'm not gonna lie. They are pretty annoying. I actually don't know of a way offhand right now. I guess leap up into the air and try to hit him with a sword, but it's almost guaranteed you'll take damage at the same time from a bomb. And they easily hit you with them too. Okay, we're almost safely to the village, which... not that that will give me my energy back or anything. But a few of these random bushes laying around might give me... yeah. Not cool. Okay. This went a little too far south into dangerous territory. Okay, right quick, let's make sure I explored... oh, yeah, sure enough. I did not explore the two houses in this corner, I don't believe. I got this gator guy. Yeah, I am Shule Donovich. The mermaid statue by the bay is my masterpiece. This work is not complete. The art, it's difficult for you to grasp, is it not? So, I guess he's painting this hippo woman. Go away. Okay, seriously, what the deal? All the women in this village are kind of abrasive. Not pleasant like Marin. Okay, so what's over here? Oh, yeah, alright, I did talk to that guy. My bad. Yeah, so... she's obviously enough of a narcissist, that hippo woman, to have her portrait painted like that. There's no doubt in my mind she's the one who requested it. But it's like, she doesn't even want some commoner, lowly human like me in the room with her and her amazing beauty, I suppose. It just tells me to go away if I try to talk to her. Doesn't want, you know, me in the same room with her. She's being immortalized into a work of art, I suppose. Okay, so I don't know if I actually have to have the ocarina in hand. Talk to this, yeah. Okay, so that's Marin. Actually, no. No, you're hearing things. Wait, you straight up told me I'm not good at this? Okay, so... question. Oh. Okay, I guess I struck the walrus by accident. I was like, I don't remember having to do anything else in order to get Marin to teach me the song. But I guess when she said the first time, it's... I must have hit him by accident. I didn't realize it instead of when I was just trying to talk to him and just to initiate the event. Okay, but now we're gonna do it. Oh. Yeah, the walrus really likes it, as you can tell. I think magically just from hearing it, Link somehow knows how to play it on his ocarina too. Sure. Not sure what the rabbit was calling you for, but I guess it's just as well you don't come with me into the desert, because... Oh. I don't know, something a little creepy about these skulls differ from ones we've previously seen. I guess because... I don't know, they're probably the skulls of some giant animal. You can see, like, the elongated nose and the tusks, I guess. So it's like... I don't know if that's suggesting that people in the animal village have actually wandered out into this desert before and gotten picked off by monsters. So their skulls are now adorning the landscape. Oop. Oh, don't touch the cactus. My bad. What have we got on up here? Okay, that's just a way to jump back down. I guess quick way out of the desert. Oh, there's a mini-boss here. Only getting in the way. Oh, I guess that... If I didn't mention it before, and I might have, kind of as you progress on, I think the monsters, you know, they actually seem to talk to you more and give you a more and more definite hint of exactly what you're doing, as you know, what you're really doing when you try to wake up the windfish. And what your quest is really about here, even though Link himself, of course, does not realize it. So it's like with that guy, he kind of gave a stronger hint than, well, really any of the monsters from before. Oh, you can fall down. Okay. I guess that was just a way, like, to make the fight a little more interesting. If you fall through, it's kind of like with the giant worm from the first dungeon, that boss that actually resets his HP. But yeah, the bosses and mini bosses will actually start to talk to you more and more, and it kind of just eventually it becomes definite. Like I think towards the end, maybe 6th, 7th, or even 8th dungeon. The boss, after you defeat him, will be like, okay, this is what he just straight up tells you. This is what's really going to happen if you wake up the windfish. Just tells you flat out. But for now, it's like kind of less and less subtle hints as you go on. I mean, for right now, all we know is that something is not quite right. He just says you're in the way. You might think that's typical monster talk, like, you know, just... I don't know, you're intruding in my territory, like with this guy over here when he was like, you're in my way. Like, you think maybe it's just he's a monster, he's naturally territorial at this desert, and here you are, you know, intruding and trying to steal his treasure, which I guess is the key. But it starts to become a little more apparent that something is amiss as time goes on. And when you look back after that, you can, you know, you realize that he means, oh, you're actually in the way, as in, you know, he doesn't want you continuing on with your adventure, because if you do, if you succeed in waking up the windfish, everything goes away. The entire island. Let's see, can you bomb this? I'm not sure exactly where the... I believe you have to dig up the angler key. Or it might just be further down this way in a treasure chest. Let's take a look. Just dig a few spots on the way just for kicks. Well, it was not there. Do you dig up near the bones? I admit I am totally at a loss right now. I do not remember as of now where the key was supposed to be. Oh, maybe the owl will give me a hint. You know, I'm such a moron. I didn't notice that I picked up the angler key just from defeating the boss. I totally wasn't paying attention while I was talking. I already have it in my possession. But just for kicks, let's make sure we've explored all of the desert. Yep, this is pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, pretty much I fell all around on that SK. Oh, good. Marin's kind of singing for everybody. With this guy right here, this pelican guy, this is kind of creepy. Is that his eye? Does he have like a sunken eye on one side of his face and it keeps opening up every time he opens his mouth? Or closes his mouth, yeah. Alternately, his eye and his mouth closes. Or maybe that's just his cheeks puffing out. I don't know, and his eye is up here. Well, in any event. Seems to be totally absorbed in Marin's song. Oh, so that's what that rabbit wanted for her. She's just calling her over, and she's like, it's the same as always. Like, they always need something from me. And this is just... They just want to hear her sing. Okay, so we do have the pineapple in the trading quest. I did remember to do that. So I think our business here is done for now. 7 seashells, the angler key, and the most current item in the trading quest. Good. Now, let's see if we can actually make it to, I believe it's called the Tal Heights, like the mountain above. Tal Mountain and Death Mountain is at the northern... Yeah, they're at the northern parts of the island. Like, I think Death Mountain is over here in the absolute northwest, and Tal Mountains is in the east. But just a little bit below the Tal Mountains is just kind of a... It's almost like a hallway. I really don't know what else to call it. Called a hallway-like region called the Tal Heights. So that's where the waterfall is. Let's see if we can make it there from here. Ah, Tektites. I forgot until I saw them that they actually return in this game too, just like they were in previous Zeldas. Okay, so obviously not that way. Let's see if we can go further this way. No. But since that one lone rock was there anything important? No. Might as well take this with me. Okay, I wonder if this statue will give me any hint. The windfish slumbers long, the hero's life gone. Nothing important to dig up. Okay. Can you throw a rock at this guy? Yeah, you can. Okay, this is actually a region we really have no business in right now. I believe this is where the 6th level is, in an area called the Shrine. But no need to go there yet. Let's see if we have anything to the west. Well, yeah, we have infinitely deep water until I get the special fins for. Yeah, just like in Link to the Past, in order to swim. Can't go that way. That would be great, however. Okay, Fairy won't reappear, so she's just there for healing, and since I'm already full on hearts, no need. I was kind of hoping it was a passage further north. But it looks like we are going to have to take this the long way around. Okay, so actually, while we are on the process of taking all this time to go all the way back over, you know, something occurred to me earlier tonight while I was at work. How much I was actually influenced. I did a lot of creative writing as a kid, and I think I talked a little bit about it in maybe some of the earlier Resident Evil LPs I did with Lantis, but none of you probably remember it at all, even if you were there for it. I did a lot of creative writing as a child, and it just now dawned on me how much of it was actually influenced by Zelda. I mean, the Legend of Zelda games, the classic ones. Because honestly, I mean, in some part, it was just straight up stolen. I mean, I was just a kid, so it's not like I was planning on doing this professionally or anything. Otherwise, I'm sure that even, you know, even 25, 30 years later, somebody would remember, oh, hey, this is just like, that one Zelda game, you know. But it was a lot like, in one of my pieces of writing, a lot of them had a lot to do with, revolving around, you know, this group of characters. Like, they were called a certain race of creatures from this country in the Antarctic called Frostinia. Yeah, I know, that sounds pretty lame, but again, I was a kid. But the whole thing about their race was just that they all shared the same purpose. They didn't all necessarily share the same physical appearances or anything. Some could be like elves, some could be like totally humans. Others are more humanoid, but maybe also have like animal-like appearances. That kind of thing. And, you know, I'd always had dreamt up that in one of the adventures of the main character, you know, like the Prince of Frostinia, Harold, because I like the name Harold for him because it kind of has one of its meanings. I don't know if it's official anyway in any kind of religion or known culture. But I just distinctly remember that always on those name tags inside, you know, gas station convenience stores and stuff, you know, when you get like those name tags or license plates that have your name on them, or keychains, you know, you can find one for your name and it'll tell you the meaning of it. The one for Harold was like a leader of strength and courage. So, you know, that immediately got me thinking about Zelda, because, you know, of course there's like a Triforce of power or strength, whatever you'd like to, however you'd like to call it, and courage and wisdom. So, I was always thinking on like one of Harold's first adventures ever, he actually gets shipwrecked or washed ashore somehow. You know, just kind of like in this game with Link, and you know on this island called the Star Islands, kind of a collection of islands put together. And I remembered the layout I had planned for the island, especially if I was going to make it like into a video game in my later age or something. If I was ever to become a video game programmer, I dreamt of it a lot like the layout of it was a lot like this island in A Link to the Past. I guess, I don't know. It's weird how video games just influence you, your imagination. How much you take them to heart, and your sense of wonder as you go through them, you know, for the first time ever. So it's just like even so much as the geography of Kohonlit Island. You know, I was so fascinated by it. Apparently, I mean, without even realizing it. Yeah, there's the entrance to the. No, that's actually not the entrance to the dungeon right there, but it's a little off to the side where I. This right here. This is what I was looking for. I was already in this area without realizing it. I thought it was going to be a much longer journey while I talked about this on the side about my writing as a kid. But yeah, the Star Islands, it wasn't like, you know, copy for copy. Like every little area was just like, you know, in what I was planning on writing about had I ever gone through with it professionally, about Harold, Prince Harold, and his friends from Frostinia and his adventures. Like Frostinians all had one common goal, and that was they were born to fight as heroes of light against alien threats, you know, from like the darkness beyond. And so it was like Harold's first time adventure on the Star Islands. They looked a lot. I imagine them looking a lot in several different places, like Kohonlit. Of course, it wasn't the exact same, but you know. A lot of it was influenced by it. I know there was... I was thinking if I ever made it into a video game, it would kind of progress in the way that Zelda game or one of its many clones would do, and that's, you know, going from dungeon to dungeon to uncover secrets of some sort, or put a whole, you know, find very special items, trinkets, magical items that would... you know, when all put together, would reveal some final climax of the game, and all of it is pretty much to destroy some ultimately evil threat that's threatening the sovereignty of the island, or, you know, going to destroy the world or some crap, you know. And I can't even really remember what the specific plot I had planned out for each and every little story I wrote with, you know, about Harold and his Frostinian friends was supposed to be about, but ultimately it was like they all had a nemesis from beyond the stars, and his name was Gemini. He was like some alien being, and I don't think I really got into any more detail into what his character was about, but I think it was something like, you know, just born as part of the darkness, himself. You know, Gemini and his people are inherently evil, so of course, you know, their desire for power, everything that, you know, corrupts people into evil, that kind of thing. It was like they managed to destroy their home planet, you know, from across the stars, so they come to planet Earth to, you know, to take it over ultimately, you know, where the demon race rules and nobody else. You know, they'll pretty much destroy everyone else in total genocide. So, sorry, I you know, second guess myself, and I do believe I actually go through this cave, or at least over the top of Tao Tao Mountains, in order to get down to the entrance of the fourth dungeon somehow. I mean, at first I was thinking this was a dead end while I was talking, but then on my way back I was like, wait a second, I think this might very well be the place I'm supposed to go. But anyway, so that was kind of the main thing. I think maybe, you know, like the first the first story was about, you know, Harold. He doesn't really realize his destiny as a Frostinian yet or something, especially as a prince, you know, somebody with high influence who is bred to be a leader, that kind of thing. You know, he washes up on the Star Islands by accident. Of course, it all turns out to be destiny, all that nonsense. You know, he makes several friends on the island. They're all innocents. They just know that somehow, some way, like the ruling family on the island, I guess kind of in the same way that Queen Zeelies and the Enlightened ones in Chrono Trigger, they don't realize the extent of what they're trying to do. But they're so in love with power, the forces of magic, that it's almost just to say, hey, we can do this, and you foolish heathen beneath our feet, you have nothing. You know, they were trying to summon Lavos, and either not being aware at all that Lavos is just an alien being like bred, like some kind of parasite, bred for just eating worlds, just traveling across, you know, worlds, and feeding on them. I mean, that's all he does. That's all he knows. Just a monster in the basic sense of the word. Or Queen Zeelies and her people, they were so snooty, so rich and snooty, you know, with their noble status over the people who were land-bound in the... Queen Zeelies? Is that what it said? No, Queen Zil. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know where I got Zeelies. Oh, what's this guy? Yeah, I don't remember him. But this dude, sure enough, got lost in the mountains, and you trade in the pineapple. He gives you like this... I think that's actually a bouquet of flowers. That's what it's supposed to be right there. I like how the music speeds up when he starts eating real fast. But yeah, that was a hibiscus he just gave to me. I don't know where he found it, but I'm guessing that's what it was that was supposed to be sitting there next to him. Yeah, you say you're lost in the mountains, but don't you need help getting out of the mountains? I mean, I'm glad I was able to save you from starving to death with that pineapple, but... okay. Anyway, we'll go back down this way. So yeah, so it was kind of the same thing, I think, with the story of Harold on the Star Islands. It was like there was a family of nobles. I believe they lived off in like kind of a valley of ice, kind of treacherous territory. I mean, without due preparation, you won't really survive there. Off in the northwest, you know, kind of like on this giant icy mountain. And here we are at the fourth dungeon. Good. But it was like they wanted to summon Gemini. They just know he's like a monster, a being of legend somehow, and they just want to summon Gemini to the land. I don't know if I really had it for any specific purpose, at least a smart purpose. Wow, you're really gonna do that to me? I really wish I had not gone into that. I just wanted to see what was in that dungeon, but no, that just screwed me over. Now I have to go all the way back up through the mountains. Okay. But since I'm here and there's this warp point, let's warp back to the animal village and give the hibiscus to Dog Lady over here. So yeah, I think that was like Harold's quest to go through a series of dungeons, and eventually he'd face like this ruling family of nobles in the Iceland mountains, and bring them to justice before, you know. But of course, like they would somehow be successful in summoning Gemini, and he'd go up against Gemini for the first time ever himself. But I guess Gemini just kept coming back in a way like Ganon in all the Zelda games. Like I said, Zelda and other games like it were a big influence on me. But it just kind of gave me this hint of nostalgia when I just happened to think about this LP, and you know what what kind of commentary I was gonna give in it for tonight when I was at work earlier, and I just started thinking, you know, it just for the first time in a really long time, I just thought about it. I actually drew out a map of the Star Islands now that I think about it. A very vague map, region by region, where all the dungeons would be located and villages and stuff. And I guess it got me a little nostalgic, so I wanted to bring that up. You know, since I had that long walk finding the 4th dungeon in the mountains to make, so I thought that would just pass for commentary until then. Anyway, thanks for listening to it. Let's be smart here, however, and take the warp point back to the mountains. In fact, no, let's take it back to the prairie first, just outside of Maid Village, because we actually get this letter. If you weren't paying attention to the dialogue, because I was rambling on the whole time, yeah, the dog lady just gave me a letter to give to Wright over there near the Mysterious Forest. So let's go back and visit him and keep the trading quest going while it's still fresh on my mind. And let's get the boots to make this a little quicker as usual. You guys just happened to walk out of the way of my sword as I was dashing through, but you other few moblins did not. Okay, yeah. Wright is in this house right here, I believe. He'll be overjoyed to know that somebody does in fact care. There it came with a photograph. Okay, that's clearly Princess Peach, and she calls herself Christine. Is that the name of the dog lady? I mean, I'm assuming that's what the dog lady meant to do, was give a photograph of herself along with the letter, say like, hey, you know your anonymous pen pal? Yeah, I'm finally writing back, and this is what I look like. Except she's lying about it if that's the case, because that was clearly a dog person, not anybody who looks like Princess Peach. Okay, yeah, thanks for the broom. I'm sure I can give it to somebody. Yeah, exactly, that photo was not of the dog woman, who quite frankly was rude to us in the first place anyway, and I had to go through some shit just to get her to talk to me and keep this quest going. He didn't swallow my shield, did he? Okay, maybe you have to have the shield equipped for the like to actually be of concern. And I'm thinking maybe we can make it back to the mountains from here instead of having to go all the way back to the warp point. That's theorizing, though. Yeah, they should be Tamarack Mountain. It wasn't Talta Mountain. My bad. But I think the little passageway below at that region where I found the entrance to the Fort Dungeon is actually called Talta Heights, I think. It might actually say it on the map. Yeah, Talta Heights. If you just click in a... If you select a square that doesn't have any particular landmark on it, then it kind of gives you the name of the region. Oh, that's the Windfish's Head. My bad. No point in trying to do anything now, but it's nice that Alla's here waiting for me just to tell me, nope, not yet. Okay, and the passageway back to... God, it's kind of a long and inconvenient way around. But again, I guess that just kind of draws out the gameplay. Can't really argue that. I mean, kind of getting to dungeons should be an adventure in and of themselves, I suppose. Kind of worried about trying to stay and push these rocks out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Where are we at over here? Well, we can always take that treasure chest right quick. It should be right outside this entrance. 50 rupees. Worth it. And we'll just hop down here and 4th dungeon. And you know what, speaking of that, I think it's about time to call it a night, so we will tackle Angler's Cave in the next video. Thanks again for watching, as always.